Hi, I'm Yongkit, and I'm exploring how to build workforce intelligence tools for Californian policymakers. Shout out to my research partner, Maiden Labs, for providing all the data and research insights behind this video. Maiden Labs is a non-profit research organization with a very simple mission. They want to identify AI risks before they become real liabilities for us all in society. One of the apps that I'm prototyping with their data is called Plumber. Plumber is a government-facing tool for planning out the workforce pipelines in your various industries. This video is not about the specifics or the math. Instead, let's take a look at our vision for Californian policymakers. Suppose you are a workforce policymaker. Imagine now you have an analytical tool based on real data that allows you to identify jobs at risk of AI displacement, prioritize intervention efforts by the economic impact of these jobs, and it also shows you where reskilling resourcing should be prioritized within California. When you start Plumber, you are given a highly intuitive dashboard. When you hover over each dot, you see that each dot represents a job within the Californian landscape. Plumber categorizes each job into one of four categories: stable protected jobs, jobs that have potential for AI augmentation, jobs that are at risk of automation, and transitional jobs that should be monitored because the situation is unclear. Plumber is able to do this because Maiden Labs has done the difficult work of calculating an AI immunity score and an AI threat score for every single job. The higher a job is on this chart, the more essential human presence is for the job, regardless of AI capability. The more to the right a job is on this chart, the more easily AI is able to execute your job. Like any good policy analyst, suppose you zoom in on the most at-risk jobs today in the market, in the red color quadrant. Plumber lets you choose all these red colored at-risk jobs, and you can select them for further economic impact analysis. On this framework you see here, the 16 at-risk jobs we selected are further added into a new policy analysis framework. Using this new framework, we can now, on the basis of total employment figures and average annual wage figures, categorize these jobs into max impact jobs high on our policy priority list, volume and wage risk jobs that impact either the number or the economic value of jobs heavily, and finally, monitor type jobs, where the situation isn't so clear. As suspected, one of these max impact jobs we ought to be concerned about is web developers. With Gen AI able to spin up websites and apps, this industry is bound to be disrupted. But suppose we zoom in further on these max impact jobs. You see that Plumber allows you to choose the 5 red dots and then view their regional distribution within California itself. At a glance, you are able to see where to better coordinate efforts as government and policymakers, and where to do things like build awareness and roll out workforce training programs. And if you switch to a map view, you're also able to formulate region-specific strategies. Okay, that's all for my demo today. For governments, this is of course an excellent analytical tool that I would like you to have in your toolkit. In my research paper, I will be articulating how through intentional funding and partnership, such tools can be easily built and democratized for better policy insights. And for my fellow Singapore public servant colleagues, if you have followed me to this point of the video, what I've said in earlier videos still stands. Whatever you can imagine, you can now build. So what are you waiting for? Put your domain expertise into action, and I'll see you back home with all your wonderful apps for policy analysis.